What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back to my unit review series for Fire Emblem Heroes. In this series I review new units released in the game and tell you how good they are. And today I will be reviewing Arvis and I will tell you guys how good he is and what are some of his best skill inheritance options and some of his best teammates and some counters that you should watch out for when using him. And at the end I will also tell you guys if it's worth upgrading him to 5-star rarity or not in my opinion. Arvis is the 14th Grand Hero Battle unit in the game and the first red mage that we have got through a Grand Hero Battle. Let's take a look at his 5-star stats. His HP stat is lowest for a mage in the game, so he cannot really take too many hits, and he has got a good base attack stat of 34 and he can hit decently well with this as he has got a legendary tome with 14 might, and if you run something like Fury on him then he can have more than 50 attack. His speed is mediocre, but at least it's better than Sanaki and Lina, and he can at least do something with his speed stat with the help of speed ploy and his high res. His defense is pathetic. A lot of melee units can just one-shot him due to his low defense and low HP. A lot of people are thinking of giving him close counter for some reason, but that skill is not really that good on him because of his low defense and the fact that he doesn't have a very high enough attack to run something like Vantage, and he cannot really have IVs, so the only way to increase his attack is with slot A skills or sacred seals. He has got a very high res and it's really good because he can proc his ploy skills more reliably with this, and his res can always be boosted with a skill like Fury. He can also take hits from Nino pretty easily and she's a very common mage in arena, so that's good. And his legendary Tome Fala Flame is incredible and is very unique. It has got attack ploy 2 and res ploy 2 built into it, and this is just too good because he can run defense ploy or speed ploy for his slot C and actually debuff 3 stats of enemies without wasting his turn, unlike the dagger units who actually have to commit and hit enemies to debuff them. He's a great support unit because of this weapon. His slot B skill is an exclusive skill to him. It's a reference to when he had Recovery Ring in Prologue of Fire Emblem 4. Recovery Ring is just a better renewal since it can heal every turn for 10 HP, and it has got good synergy with Fury, and he can be a pretty good passive healer with this skill and Ardent Sacrifice or Reciprocal Aid. His slot C skill is Defense Ploy. Now even though he cannot really use this debuff for himself because he's a magical unit, his other teammates can, so along with his weapon Fala Flame it's a great skill, but I would argue that Speed Ploy is a bit better for him, and his special is Growing Flame, which is an area on effect special, so he can do some really nice barbecues with that on a certain blue-haired sword lord. But jokes aside, it's a decent special as it can give you more arena points and it's decent in Tempest Trials as well. Its cooldown is too high, so you can always run other specials like Iceberg or Glacies for more practical damage output. Overall, Arvis is a high tier red mage who can support his allies, be a good green magic check and check green mages like Nino, and also heal his allies with Ardent Sacrifice or Reciprocal Aid. He has got his own niche which makes him stand out from other red mages. His default kit is also pretty good, so free-to-play players can just start making use of him without too much investment. He's a very good red mage and a free-to-play unit. Now let's take a look at some of his best skill inheritance options. This is his best set in my opinion. Fury has got incredible synergy with his Recovery Ring to the point where the passive damage is nothing from Fury, so that's why Fury is a great option for him. It also bumps his res to 36, which is really good for all the ploy activations, and overall it's a solid option for him. Defense ploy is a good slot C skill, but speed ploy is better for him, so if you've got an extra Deidre then you can always sack her to him for that, and Deidre will not mind because she cannot remember anything to save her life, so it's all good. And speed ploy lets Arvis double a good amount of units after he procs it and debuffs an enemy. Arvis's niche is to be a great passive healer due to his Recovery Ring, so Ardent Sacrifice and Reciprocal Aid should definitely be run on him. Definitely run HP plus 5 Sacred Seal if you're running Reciprocal Aid so that he can have more HP. Unfortunately, Arvis does have low HP stats, so that's why if you're using Reciprocal Aid then you have to make sure that he has got HP plus 5 Sacred Seal. Iceberg is his best special, giving him 18 points of additional damage with Fury. Distant Defense Sacred Seal is great for him so that he can tank hits much better in the enemy phase and make great use of his high res. HP plus 5 Sacred Seal will bump his HP stat to 38, which means that he can heal more HP if you end up using Reciprocal Aid. He also has a more offensive set with Speed Ploy, and Darting Blow works really well with this as he can double a lot of enemies after he has debuffed them with Speed Ploy. So Sparrow also allows him to double units and have more attack, but in my opinion, Darting Blow is a bit better because of his low speed. And for with these two skills, Speed Ploy goes really well for him and allows him to be more offensive red mage and have a better player face. I would not recommend running Life and Death on him at all because it severely reduces his magical bulk and his chances of proccing his ploys, which is his niche, so please do not run Life and Death on him at all. He can still make great use of Ardent Sacrifice or Reciprocal Aid when he's not initiating an attack, and when he's initiating an attack, he can always heal his allies with Breath of Life Sacred Seal. Alternatively, for making sure that he can double maximum amount of units with a slot A skill and with the Speed Plot debuff, you can run Speed plus 3 Sacred Seal, and with Darting Blow and this Sacred Seal, he can reach 40 speed, and after Speed Plot debuff, he can double units who have got 40 speed, which is just incredible. And you can also run Attack plus 3 Sacred Seal for him to have more offensive power if you're running Darting Blow, and HP plus 5 can also be run if you're running Reciprocal Aid. Since we are on the topic of skill inheritance, let's talk about his Defense Ploy skill. Previously, this skill was only available on Summer Gaius, who was a limited time unit, and now Arvis has got the skill at 4-star rarity, and this skill is pretty good on a lot of units. I have obviously not mentioned every unit, but still it will give you an idea. Defense Ploy is saving grace for low attack units like Felicia, Shida, and Claire, and Felicia in particular can get a lot of mileage with this skill because she's actually a pretty decent magic check in this metagame, so Defense Ploy definitely helps her a lot. And brave weapon users like Est and Camilla, who have got high res, can also do a lot more damage to their enemies after the debuff. Some units like Anna and Kagero have got good res with the Fury skill, so they can definitely proc Defense Ploy a decent amount of times on a lot of units, so they can also use that. Other units like Eliud with high res can make good use of this skill and hit even harder with his Death Blow set. Ines has got Fortress res, so he has got plenty of res to proc the skill. Shanna, Titania, and Sheena can run Defense Ploy with their distant counter set, and Firesweep Bow Faye with Death Blow can also run Defense Ploy to do more damage. You can obviously use one Arvis for yourself and fodder off the other two, so be very careful when deciding which unit you should give it to. His teammates who he can support are tanky units who can run quicker post skill. Arvis can be a big help to them and constantly heal them up to make sure that they stay in the quick riposte range. This is just so useful for Tempest Trials and Chain Challenges. Since they are tanky units, they like the attack debuff so that they take even less damage, so Arvis can definitely help them with that. Due to his Defense Ploy, Slotsy skill, brave weapon users like Cordelia, Shershi, and Arden can hit even harder and get more one-round KOs, and since he will always have his Fall of Flame, Reinhardt loves that -4 res debuff on his enemies. Magical nukes like Celica, Nino, Julia, Dalthea, and Lind appreciate his Fall of Flame debuffs as they can hit even harder to get more one-round KOs. You should also run green units like Faye and Julia with him because they can check the blue units for him, especially Faye, as she can deal with both melee and magical blue units such as Reinhardt, who are super common in the metagame, and Arvis can help stay her in the quick riposte range with his healing. So Faye is one of the best teammates for Arvis. It's obvious with his pathetic defense that any physical unit can just sneeze in his direction and Arvis will just die. Arvis does not have power to kill a lot of the common distant counter units, so that can be troublesome, and despite his high res, many blue magical units can actually destroy him. He cannot really kill this one guy who he smoked in the past due to his Divine Tearfang, and he doesn't really do too much damage to him, so that's pretty hilarious. So watch out for these counters, and now I will tell you guys if it's worth upgrading him to 5-star or not. Arvis is going to be a bonus unit for the upcoming Tempest Trials, and in general he's a solid unit for in-game modes like Chain Challenges and Tempest Trials due to his passive healing. No unit in the game can debuff 3 stats of enemies without wasting their turn like Arvis can. And his support is great with passive healing. As you guys saw, you can just keep his default slot B and slot C skill and build him pretty easily. Out of the box, Arvis is good. Green mages like Nino are very common in Arena, so Arvis is a good check to such units. And Arvis is a great asset to free-to-play players due to his unique weapon and invaluable support. There are also some reasons why you wouldn't want to upgrade him. We still do not know if Ira is going to be a Tempest Trial reward or a Grand Hero Battle unit. The chances are more towards Tempest Trial reward, but still, some people might want to save their feathers for her instead. Some people might not care about debuffs or passive healing and they just like using a bunch of nukes with dancers, so with that kind of playstyle, Arvis might not suit their taste, and I'm actually gonna be upgrading him to 5-star rarity myself because I really like him. And that's gonna conclude my unit review on him. If you enjoyed, then please be sure to leave a like and do not forget to subscribe for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.